Hey everyone, Jordan here with 9 to 5 Toys, and today we're checking out the latest streaming gear from Razer. So we have the Key Light Chroma, we also have the audio mixer, and then we also have the Siren BT or Bluetooth, a little mobile streaming microphone here. So we're going to check out some of the features, take a deep dive into Synapse, and check out this new streaming gear. Thanks for watching 9 to 5 Toys. Be sure to like, subscribe, and enable notifications with the bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. So first off, we're going to talk about the Key Light Chroma, and coming in at $300, it's the most expensive thing in this lineup of streaming gear that we're checking out. It also puts it on a pretty far other end of the spectrum compared to the Razer Key Light that we checked out last year. That was very affordable, felt a little bit cheaply made, but this one feels extremely solid and very rigid. Feels like it has a metal body. The construction just feels top-notch on it. Also included is a little mounting stand that can, a mounting arm that can connect to your desk, and so that can adjust vertically from 22 up to I think about 52 inches, so it can get quite a bit of height. My only complaint here is that I wish it could get just a little bit lower than that. With the dark matter 49-inch monitor I'm using here for mono price, it still sits about like 4 or 5 inches above the monitor, and there's no way to get it low enough so it's, you know, like just peeking over the monitor. It's always going to be up there a few inches. So that's my only complaint with the mounting stand. Otherwise, everything feels pretty solid. It doesn't feel too rickety or anything. And it also has a ball head on it to adjust the angle of the light. So depending on where you have it, you know, you can turn it left and right. You can also tilt it up and down depending on how you need to. The light has Wi-Fi built in, so setup is extremely easy. Using the Synapse software, you can just add it and search for it in there. And then once you are connected, it's very easy to control as well. Alternatively, you can use a mobile app. I think it's called like the Razer Streaming app, something like that. But there is some control in there once you connect it to your phone. I don't think it's quite as robust as what you can do on the Synapse software, but it's nice to have that other option as well if you don't have Synapse. All right, so let's actually dive in and take a look in Synapse and see what all we can do. Obviously, I have it pulled up here on the screen. And so first thing, you can locate your light if you need to. You hit this and it'll kind of flash to let you know. I guess if you have multiple of these, this will help you identify which one you are manipulating with your different settings. And then moving on down, we have kind of two different controls here. We have panel light and chroma brightness. So panel light is kind of like the white light. And so it's at 15 right now. You can go all the way down to 0 if you want. That's what it looks like with it off. We're all the way up to 100. It gets pretty crazy bright. 15, I think, is actually a pretty good number for me with my monitor set up and all my blinds for my windows closed and everything. And you can also change the color temperature. You can go from a very cool 7,000 to a very warm 3,000. And then down here with chroma brightness, this is what's going to turn on some of the color effects. And one thing to note here, when you have chroma brightness turned on, you cannot turn up the brightness on the panel light any more than 15. That's as high as it will go. So we're going to turn off the panel light. We're going to pop over to quick effects. And so here we can start to manipulate some of those RGB colors. And so with static color, obviously you can change it to whatever you want. And it's a pretty smooth transition when you are doing it in this static color mode. And as you can see, I mean, it's putting off quite a bit of color and really affecting the image quite a bit. So definitely pretty powerful in here. If that's something that, you know, could spice up your stream a little bit, then that's another great addition. Or you can go over and do some more advanced controls. Real quickly here, we're going to show off wheel. And this just kind of shows how crazy it can go, how quickly the colors can change on there. So pretty interesting. But then we can also hop over to advanced effects. And this is where you can use Chroma Studio to manipulate, you know, some of your other devices as well. So I turned on the wave layer, which I already have on the Key Light RGB, as well as my headphone stand over here. We'll hit save, and both of those are going crazy now. So you can see how that works. So you can use this with, you know, all of your different chroma devices. These are the only two I have plugged in right now, and, you know, just make it kind of take over your entire desk. And also, like the Razer Siren emote that we reviewed a little while ago, this is supposed to do some reactions to streaming notifications as well. So if you are a streamer and you want to set that up, I think you can set up notifications like, you know, for different alerts, and then this will do some sort of action. You can kind of program it to do something. I'm not really well versed in streaming and setting all that up, so I was running into some errors and couldn't really get it set up. I wasn't able to actually test that, but this is another feature that Razer is pushing on the Key Light Chroma. All right, so now let's talk about the audio mixer, which I have set up over here on the left side of my keyboard. This is coming in at $250, and it's very similar to the Go XLR Mini, which is like $215. It's been out for a little while. Very similar controls and inputs on here. Now, the goal of this is to, take different audio sources from your computer and then kind of route them differently for streaming and for chatting. And with the 4 different sliders and mute buttons on here, you can kind of control some of those different audio levels on the fly. So let's take a quick look at the mixer itself. On top, we do have the 4 different sliders, and you can see there the lights are reactive as well. We have the 4 different mute buttons down here that are part of each channel. We have a bleep button, and I'm going to go ahead and push that. And it just makes a little bleep noise. So if you want to just say something and then it out, that's something you can do with this button. So just kind of a fun little feature. Then we also have a mic mute button, and you can also hold this button for 2 seconds and toggle a different effect, or that has another secondary function it can do, which you can set within Synapse. We actually have it right here, set to toggle voice changer. It's a little unfortunate that it takes 2 seconds to activate that. That seems like kind of too long. I understand that you probably don't want people to accidentally hit that unknowingly, but at the same time, a 2-second input delay is, pretty significant. And taking a look at the rest of the mixer, on front, we have a microphone input and a headphone out. And then on the back of the audio mixer, we have an XLR input, a phantom power button, line in and line out ports, an optical in port, and a USB-C port. And this assortment of ins and outs makes it work for a variety of different streaming setups. Optical is good if you are gaming on a console and you want to use that. The line outs are good if you're using a streaming PC. It's a great way to send that signal out to a streaming PC. And then the combination of 3.5 millimeter and then also microphone XLR inputs just make it a little bit more versatile for what kind of microphone you're using. And so most of the power of this thing, is within Synapse. There's quite a bit you can do in here. Looking at Synapse, there are 5 different tabs. We have the Customize tab, the Mixer tab, the Mic tab, Effects, and we have Lighting. So let's start with Customize. And here's going to give you a quick little write-up on, how to get this set up and get it working. Everything from opening up Windows sound settings and setting things correctly in there to using the Windows Sound Mixer, which I am going to click on. And we can see it here. So this is where you're going to route some of the different applications to different parts of the audio mixer. So like for Discord, I have it set to chat on the Razer audio mixer. And then if you had a game up, you would send that to the gaming channel. And then you can also use it for music. You can send that to, like I'm sending Spotify to the music channel. And so then you have separate controls for those different applications on the mixer over here, which is really nice. And so you can set that, all your different applications to go to different channels there. And looking at the audio sources on here, here are all the different options. We have mic, chat, music, game, optical, line in, and system. And then with the mute button, you can change the mapping of that. So kind of what it's going to do here. And then down here is where you can change the long press of that mute button, what it does. I have it set to the voice changer right now, which I should have turned off because I accidentally recorded this entire video with a voice changer on last time. So, but here, let's hop over into Mixer and take a look at this. So here with the output mixer, this is just controlling like the overall volumes of all the different outs basically. So like for music, I have that set to channel 4 here. And as I adjust the fader on the actual physical control, you can see it's going up and down over here in Synapse as well. And the same thing with chat and game. So those will all adjust on here like they would in the app. So kind of cool. Nice to be able to kind of visualize that in there as well. Playback mix, that's what's coming out of the headphones. So that's what you would plug into and kind of what you would be hearing. So whatever mix you want to hear. And from what I can tell, there isn't a physical way to adjust the volume on the unit itself. The only way to do that is with this slider here. I'm kind of torn as to whether or not, if I had something like that on the unit, if I'd actually use it, or if I would just want to set everything and forget it, and always have it at the same volume. I feel like I would enjoy having a physical way on here to control kind of the overall output volume, but maybe as a streamer, that's not something you're too worried about. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot of streaming experience, so I can't really comment too much on that. But here you can also set the routing for like your stream mix, your line out, and your voice chat. So here, like with your streaming mix, if you didn't want your chat to be coming through, you could turn that off and chat would not be going to your streaming mix. Same with optical and line in, everything. You can just, turn those on and off. Or system. If you don't want, system sounds to be popping up, just click that off and you won't get any system sounds. And then that's the same with line out. So if you're sending that to a streaming PC or something, that's what you can set here. Then the same with voice chat, and you probably just want the microphone on voice chat. All right, so that's the mix tab. Let's hop over to mic, and here we can set, what sort of input we're using, either the XLR or the mic in. And so I'm using the XLR. As a note here, this is the King B2 from Neat Microphones. It's a microphone I've been meaning to do a video review of. It's an XLR microphone, that's why we're using it in this video, so I can use it with the audio mixer. And so hopefully this is giving you a good idea of what that sounds like. But in here, you can turn on the phantom power if you need to, like this microphone needs. You can also set the mic gain. You can see the level coming in here, obviously. And you can change mic monitoring. So when you have headphones on, if you want to be able to hear yourself, you can enable or disable that, and then also turn it up and down. And then down here is a noise gate. And so this is going to help with, background noise in your room. Also helps with keyboard noise. So here I'm going to kind of type on my keyboard a little bit. It's a HyperX Alloy Origin 65 with the Aqua switches. And so it looks like it's coming through a little bit here and there. And so if I turn this all the way down, it's going to pick up like every noise. It's not going to have any gate turned on. But if I turn it up and make it more aggressive, then it's going to be more aggressive, like both on my voice, but then also on background noise as well. So you kind of got to find the right balance in there of where it's taking out the background noise that you want to eliminate, but not anything more. And this is in its simplified mode. You can also hit show more and have a little bit more control over that if you want to. And the same thing goes for the equalizer over here. There's a very simple mode where you can just set the different equalizer modes over here, or you can show more and have more control over the different frequencies. So here we'll run through the different modes and get an idea of what they'll sound like. This is the default mode. And then here we're popping over to radio voice, so you can hear what that sounds like. Here we're trying the balanced sound mode. Here we'll try mid-focused, and then with custom, you can just dial in whatever you want. All right, and then down here, we also have a compressor. And as you can see, I have that turned on right now. I usually use a compressor in all my videos. It's the same kind of thing as the noise gate. I don't think you want to get too crazy with the compressor, and you can keep it really simple just by having this slider from -38 to 0. Or you can dive in and control that a little bit more by changing the threshold, soft knee width, ratio, gain, attack time, release time. Or you can just keep things pretty simple and just play around with this. I just kind of set it in the middle as I didn't want to get too crazy with customizing that. All right, and so now we will hop over into effects. I'm going to put my headphones on here so I can hear what these sound like, and so I can monitor myself. Like I said, I actually recorded this entire video before with the voice changer
active in this cartoon voice, so not ideal. But turning this on, you can add some effects to your voice if you want. We have cartoon.
We have monster, low pitch,
and high pitch. So high pitch and cartoon are kind of similar. Cartoon seems like it puts it up even more than the high pitch mode.
And then monster and low pitch also seem very similar as well, kind of just really dropping those frequencies.
So I don't know if that's something I would use very often. Maybe that's something you would. But yeah, kind of a neat thing to have in there. A nice option, I guess. It is unfortunate that it takes, for the physical controls, you have to hold that button down for 2 seconds to enable that. It seems like a thing, like if there was a really quick toggle, maybe that'd be more ideal to use. But holding it for 2 seconds is a little bit of a bummer. And then down here, we also have reverb if you want to add a little more presence and make your voice sound like it's in a library, or if it's in a chapel, or an arena, or a marble room, a small concert hall, or you can set your own custom on here. So lots of different controls you can play around with. Once again, I don't think that's something that I would use, but you can have that if you want. And then, so those are microphone effects. Over here we have line in effects. So I assume this would just affect if you had something plugged into line in. I do not at the moment, so I can't really play around with them. But what's interesting here is you have a key shifter. So this will adjust the pitch and tempo of any audio input on the line input port using the slider. So you can adjust the pitch of what's coming in there, which is kind of interesting. And then there's also vocal fading. And this will isolate or minimize the volume of any voice detected on the line in port. So trying to take out some vocals from the line in as well. So some interesting effects there. And so here you can save different presets if you want to. All right, and lastly, let's move over into lighting. And in here, you can actually make sure, yes, effects are turned off. Okay. All right, so here in lighting, you can control pretty much everything on the interface. So everything from the logo if you want. You can change that. You can change the base fader color as well as the foreground fader color. This is kind of just, lights up. As you can see, I have that set to red. This is whatever the level is from 0 to where the fader is, whereas the background, the base is that blue. You can change the little channel numbers here if you want to change those to individual specific colors. You can change the colors of the mute buttons down here, the bleep button, and the mic mute button. Or you can also just turn everything off if you don't want any light on for your audio mixer. So a ton of control in here. Obviously, it's Razer. They want you to be able to control all of your lighting. So that's, something that they're all about. All right, so that is a quick, maybe not so quick rundown of the audio mixer. There's a lot you can do in here. I think the functionality is very similar to like something of a Go XLR. But yeah, quite a bit you can do in here. It's, cool. You can make all these adjustments within Synapse, and it's going to play well with a lot of other Razer gear if that's what you're using for streaming. All right, and then lastly, we have the Siren BT, their mobile streaming microphone. So let's see if it'll focus on that. So it's a very simple design. You can kind of see it's like tall and kind of thin here. There's this clip on the back, so that's how you can kind of clip it onto your shirt. Very simple and easy to do if you just want to clip it on there. Looking at the top of it, it has the omnidirectional microphone on one side, and then on the other side, it has a combo 3.5mm port. So if you have a headset that you want to use with this, you can. So you can both have your voice and then also audio playing back through a headset, and you're basically just using this as like a transmitter receiver sending to your phone or whatever device you have it connected to via Bluetooth. Otherwise, for controls and design on here, there is a single button, and that's going to both power it on, and then also when it's powered on and connected, that can control like voice calls. If you want to accept or reject a voice call, this button on the side will do that. There's also a small LED light down here at the bottom, which you can kind of see. Put it right in front of my face, that little dot down there. And then on the bottom is the USB-C port for charging it. So we'll get this set up. I'm going to connect it to my PC via Bluetooth and record on that so you can hear how that sounds. All right, so here we have the Razer Siren BT connected, and you can see in my Bluetooth and other devices, Razer Siren BT, it says 70%. And yeah, hopefully this is giving you a good idea of how it sounds. I'll get a little bit closer to it. Looks like it's clipping, so I'm going to get it further away and clip it onto my shirt. So, I mean, this is meant to be a mobile streaming kind of device to make that really easy. And from what I can tell, it is really easy. You can just turn it on, connect it, pair it, and then clip it on here, and you're good to go. If you want to use a separate headphone and microphone with a headset, you can do that too. So that's pretty cool. And so this is coming in at $99, and it also comes with two little windscreens to help when you are out and in real life streams. These will kind of help to mitigate some wind noise as well, so kind of helpful in different scenarios. And they also say it's an omnidirectional microphone, so this should be good for picking up audio at a lot of different angles. We'll kind of move it around here so you can kind of see and hear what that sounds like. We'll hear if it's changing or not. This is kind of like from 90 degrees. Here we're about 45 to the microphone. Here we're speaking directly to the microphone at another 45, and then probably at another 90. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of what it sounds like at those different angles. And this also works with the streaming mobile app as well. So I'm using voice memos right now and recording on the microphone. And then we'll hop over to the streaming app and you can take a look at what all's going on in here. So within the app, let me back out. You can see the Razer Key Light, and you can also see the Siren Bluetooth. So we'll click on the Siren. And then here it has a few different controls. You can mute the microphone. You can check the battery status. It's at 71%. And you can make a couple of different adjustments here. Here with the AI mic, you can select how the microphone suppresses noise based on where it's used. You can also adjust the mic gain and sensitivity if you need to. You can turn on some side tone if you need. If you are using a headset and you want to hear yourself through that a little bit, you can. You can also turn on a low latency mode. Turn that on right now if you are worried about latency. So some cool things you can do with this microphone in the app. At $99, it's a pretty simple, pretty easy to use microphone. Not too crazy with features, but it seems to work really well in my experience. All right, and that's going to do it for our look at the Razer Key Light Chroma, the audio mixer, as well as the Siren BT, all this new streaming gear from Razer. I'll have links down to everything in the description if it's something you want to check out, but also let us know what you think about them down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. This is Jordan with 9to5 Toys.